You're listening to the What's Happening podcast with Gary Watts.
Good afternoon. I'm here with Clare Duffy and Eric Hanson of Z102.9. Good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
Great to see you. Great.
Good,
How are you?
yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
So tell me more. Tell me about Z102.9.
Boy, where do we start?
I don't know.
in
Where
the
do you want to
beginning.
go?
Well, I tell you what, as an Iowa City-based podcast, how well do you know KRNA? Do those four letters ring a bell?
Oh, my.
Okay.
I go way back.
Yeah.
Robbie Norton.
Here you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Elliot Keller.
Yes.
I mean, I go way back.
Yes.
When they sold stock in it in like 1975,
Mm-hmm.
76. I didn't buy any stock then, but I know
Oh, all of a sudden I thought we
had.
had one thing in common. That's not.
I should have.
Yeah.
Oh, who's another guy? Who was a DJ? It was fantastic. I see him at church.
Well, you had those guys in the morning with Glenn Gardner and
Glenn
Mark
Gardner.
Foss.
Yeah, there's Robbie Norton and
Bob Stewart did afternoons forever as well.
keep going.
Oh, boy.
not
Roger
Keller.
the Dodger. Joe Nugent was there.
Yeah.
McGill. Yeah. I bring
Anyway,
it up
I'll
because
remember him and I'll just blurt it out here later.
our radio station
So I'll come back.
Yeah.
is owned by that family still.
Oh, really?
So
Who's the
in
family? Is it
the
Elliot?
Keller family.
Yeah.
Keller
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. I remember they used to be over by Kmart. That's where they had their
That was
office.
the original office,
Original.
yeah. And then the Rock and Roll Bunker was off ACT Circle.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let me take you to
hilarious.
1993. Law changes in D.C. It allows duopoly, so radio stations could buy other radio stations in the same market. KRNA bought a struggling KQCR in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Q103. I just started there part-time. They were to take us to the Holy Land because we just needed some more support behind the radio station. And then all of the corporate ownership just started from there. Before there was Clear Channel and iHeart, you had Capstar. And all of a sudden, there was this large movement to gobble up all these radio stations. And in the Cedar Rapids market, you had K-Hawk, KDAT, KRNA, and then a country station because we had changed the format. And it looked like that was going to be one group. And the DOJ came in and said, if you're going to buy, you can pick one. And they took KRNA. So that call letter set left the company, left the family, but they remained with KQCR, KXMX, which is now KZIA. And here we are, still owned by the Kellers. So the company is still in existence, right? They turned 50 last year.
Yep.
But they don't own anything with KRNA anymore. They now own KZIA.
So who owns most of the station? iHeart?
In Cedar Rapids, it's iHeart and Town Square. Cumulus is also a big player as well, but we are a locally owned, locally programmed radio station
And
in
who
Cedar
owns
Rapids.
Dolph at Iowa Broadcasting? Who owns I can't think of the name of it. The media.
That's Learfield.
Yes.
Learfield.
Yes.
And they've not approached.
I don't know if they're an
Kell-
ownership group in terms of stations. I think they're more on the programming side. So they've got their hands in sports media, across the landscape.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So if
Privately
those
held's
four
gotta be-
letters mean anything to you,
It's very rare to have a privately held.
Yes.
Well, I was gonna say,
we
it's-
are.
That's funny you bring up KRNA. That gives me
I'm
memories.
sure,
that
yeah.
I knew Robbie Norton pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. We both had the pleasure to work with him. I programmed underneath him for a long time. Claire was part of the morning show team back when I had left the station actually for a little while. But yeah. So yeah, Rob's probably been in all of our paths one way or the other.
Then Elliot's wife was there too, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was a DJ because she was great too, I think. or involved.
Sandy's got some background in radio, and then she got
did?
into library sciences. And I knew her as the law librarian
I
at the
thought so.
University of Iowa.
Wow.
Or maybe she did the
I've
books.
never
I
heard-
don't know.
Oh yeah.
That family certainly runs deep in both the Kellers and Rob Norton.
It was
Yeah.
definitely the station in the day. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know
Yeah,
when.
no, they were.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So that's cool. The little history here. We'll keep going. I'm loving this.
yeah.
I'm loving this.
Well, where do we start? So I cut my teeth in radio in Washington, Iowa,
oh really?
at a little AM/FM called KCII, Cleanest City in Iowa. That's what it stood for. I think
Was
like
that
a lot,
AM or FM?
both.
Both.
We were the newspaper on the radio. So
really?
we
Oh.
signed on at 6 a.m. We signed off at midnight. I used to play the Star Spangled Banner because that was the shift
Sure.
I would fill in on. Yeah.
You do obits and
Obits.
temperature.
Yeah, all the time. Farm
Birthdays.
reports.
School lunch.
We actually had a funeral information line.
Yeah.
So we would get these typed up, and then we'd go in this little closet, and I'd have to record the funeral services for 97-year-old Dottie Smith of Washington. Will be held at Eden Funeral Home on Thursday. Yeah. Oh, all of it. Yeah. We would do sports reports, hospital reports, corn bean report. I would read school lunch menus, trash and treasures, radio, tradio, which is great. Getting a full service radio background to then go into, professional commercial radio at high school, right? I didn't know what I was playing. I was playing 70s and 80s.
Do as you're told.
Just do as you're told. Get on as much as possible. Have a lot of fun with it. I was doing a lot of speech and drama in high school, and I just walked in one day because we were doing a little recording like this about the play we were doing. And they tapped me on the shoulder and said, if you want to do some weekend news and run the church service for 2 hours, we'll take you. So that's how I got there.
So speech and drama in high school, because I'm just trying to get into your mindsets as kids, how you got into radio and talking to people. Was it through speech and drama? Well,
I mean, I think that background kind of helps us both attack, I guess, what we need to each day with our show, and especially what we do with the morning show. That had a big part in it. I didn't think that radio was going to be something I was interested in, but I was just studying communications in general at Mount Mercy College, and I had a friend who was an intern at the radio station, and she was like, it's okay. But everything that she got to do, I was jealous of the opportunity, because these are people that, you listen to in the morning. So,
so even in high school,
yeah,
you were intrigued by the radio. What'd you listen to in high school?
I listened to Schulte and Swan in the morning on Z102.9. I was obsessed ever since it was the new Z102.9. I was listening every morning. I had to listen to the first Z Sleaze at 6:30, 6:45, and then I had to listen right before I got on the bus at about 8:30. So.
Yeah. That also reminds me the age difference between us, because I was programming at the radio station.
Yeah, you were in charge.
As she was running off to biology in first period in high school.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have to be speech and drama, but I think having just a performance background, it could be music, could be choir, could be show choir, but just understanding. I think one, you got to have a little bit of love for the spotlight. You got to be able to think on your feet. You gotta, I think, have a little bit of ego too. I think those all kind of combine.
A little bit of razzle dazzle, understanding what makes a show. What makes something entertaining.
Well, you watched Good Morning Vietnam, right?
Sure.
With Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a true character. Yeah, there was a guy, I don't know what his name, Adrian Cronauer.
You got it.
Was it?
Nailed it. Yeah.
And Robin, of course, is just. But how in a horrible situation like the Vietnam War, they had fun with it, and he had fun with the radio and the troops, and they loved him. But just think how much that meant to those guys.
Oh, for sure.
When he was over there having like a year, they finally got rid of him, I think, a year and a half. But think about that.
We always laugh because, we've been together for 7 years now?
7 years, yeah.
Okay, so it just in the early couple of years that we've done this show, we went through a pandemic, and we went through a derecho, and just all these serious, heavy things that don't necessarily mix with.
We went
slap
through
gag.
One of the former morning show guys dying.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We got that news at 5:45, and the show started at 6.
We've gone through a lot of heavy stuff.
Really?
I've had 2 parents die.
Yeah.
Since we've been together. So there's an interesting world in what we do, in that. While we will talk about all of that, right? Our lives are important. These are the people we are, the characters that we play. We also have to understand where that time and place makes the most sense. Because at the end of the day, somebody is tuning in for entertainment,
right?
For music, but hopefully for information as well. And I think at this point, after doing that now for 7 years, they really know us. And they want to be a part of our lives and hear those stories. So, we have to really know how to kind of balance that out in the course of what we're doing in 4 hours every morning. A good mix of reality,
but also escape. Because people do need a little bit of an escape.
Right.
Like, I'm going into work and I don't really feel like it. At least it can give you a laugh or something to get your day started.
So tell us about the pandemic and what you experienced on the radio and what people were experiencing. Just tell us your thoughts getting through that, because we all lived through it. I mean, we're here today.
I mean, the first thing I remember fighting was them trying to separate us physically.
Yes.
Because I just couldn't,
we have to communicate. We're in communication.
We have to be in the
I have
same
to be
room
able
all
to
the
see
time.
him.
Right.
I can't know what he's thinking and do this show together. We use a lot of hand signals behind the scenes. Like, let's wrap this up. We're running out of time. Losing that was really, really hard and a big struggle. But, come to find out, we can be versatile, we can be flexible, and we can figure things out. I
think the biggest change we made was realizing how are people using our product today than they were before the pandemic. So a lot of it was our audience was now at home almost all the time. probably with kids. We were swimming through too much information too fast, both at a international, national, and local level. I go back to we probably had more guests on in a longer form conversation like this than we typically would ever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on our show as a guest, you maybe talk for 5 minutes and that's it. And we're having 20-minute conversations with HR directors and balancing work life and home life. Sleep experts came on.
Yeah.
Just anything that we knew would provide our audience some ease in a world where nobody knew what the hell was going on. And that we also took those. We never did this before. We would take that audio and then we would make videos. We never did anything with video, and we used our website for that. We used social media for that. It was just a different way to engage the audience, but at the same time, the mission's still there. The town runs through us, and we run through the town. So
Yeah.
however we can be helpful for our community, you just adapt and go with it on the fly. So physically, luckily, the building was built with multiple studios in mind. So we had 3 windows in a row, although we were looking all at the back of our heads.
I'm looking at the back of his head.
But it worked.
For about a
So
year
we
and a
have
half.
cameras here, little laptops, and I'm speaking straight ahead like I normally would with the equipment in front of me. I've got a little camera and a screen down here so I could see Claire, I could see our producer, and we just got used to talking to each other that way.
Yep.
And it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was probably a good, I don't know.
Or whether, you were in quarantine and in your basement,
basements.
figure out how to
Yeah.
broadcast from home. We had never done stuff like that before. I mean, we'd always done remote broadcasts where we could be different places, but having it be so intimate, having the radio come into your home too is
It
totally
was very
different.
interesting. And
Yeah.
we would come up with silly bits like, go find the weirdest thing in your house and come talk about it. It was just a weird time. We just didn't, we're used to, talking pop culture and the Hawkeyes and here's the latest hit song. And that's not what people wanted at that time. So
No, we're all at home.
yeah.
Show us your house. Show us your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing tours of our refrigerator.
Yeah.
We were singing happy birthday to listeners and sending videos out. I remember we were doing parades at
Yeah.
schools.
Anything to cheer people up.
Exactly. It was a crazy time.
You guys weren't in separate rooms then, right?
We
At
were
the
in
studio.
separate rooms
Yep.
for a while, and then I still remember the first day they let you come back in the room, and then that got weird because I wasn't used to that. I'm used to having a room all
This is
by
too
myself.
close.
Now you're too close. Yeah. You
What
just have
I
to be
noticed,
flexible.
I talk about the pandemic because I usually ask people that. My office is on Oakdale Boulevard in Coralville, and little by little, people are on the trails. Little by little, I see bikes go by. Little by little, I see people out walking I hadn't seen before. So I think kind of the neat, if there was anything good in that time, was I think people started to get a little more physical, movement, walking, trying to stay in shape, and I think that kind of was a resounding
Yeah.
part of that. You got to stay in shape. You got to stay, healthy, eat well. We all know that. We all hear that. We hear it all the time. But I just noticed it because we got a big trail right out by the office. I thought, wow, that's pretty weird. That's really cool.
I think there certainly was a mental health component there.
Yeah.
We did everything we could too from a local business standpoint. There was the Cedar Rapids Rally Cap. We do a ton of stuff with the Economic Alliance at Cedar Rapids. So we were trying to hit up restaurants regularly and posting on social media that we were supporting as many local companies as we could. Because, it was one thing to I remember lower the curve was the big push.
Right.
And then also we got to keep the economy going.
Yeah.
And that kind of became our marching orders for a while.
Also, I go back to high school. How do you go on a date?
Oh, yeah.
How do you go to the show? I mean, back then we had shows.
Yeah.
Well,
You can't, the movie theaters, you're not going to Hancher, right?
You are not allowed.
No.
it was strange. Football game. Well, these guys got sick. We can't play tonight. Just
Crazy.
It's really hard. I mean, it's hard on everybody. But when I think of kids in school, all ages, that had to have been awful.
Yeah.
Because the
Absolutely.
social part of school, that's why I went to school to have fun,
Right, yeah.
and see my buddies and
Yeah.
whatever. But they couldn't do that.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it's a long-lasting toll, not just.
Well, I think about Claire's house too. Your husband was at the time a principal.
Yep.
You had
Oh.
2 kids
Two
in elementary school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The socialization kind of changed a little bit, like
Right.
how outgoing a kid
Yeah,
is. Like
yeah.
I see my nephews, like, oh,
Yeah.
you're a COVID baby, aren't you? you relate to kids and adults just a little bit differently.
Do you have a call? Is your show a call-in show? Can you call in?
You can,
Certain topics, yeah.
Certain
Yeah.
topics we do. The
think
big
that'd be
ones,
fun.
we do actually we do a parenting segment a couple days a week where we get topics that are sent in to us. Tomorrow we're gonna delve into the world of if you're the teen hangout house. how much do you have to feed the other kids?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a fair question.
What are your guidelines? How do you make it that fair for yourself? Are you making multiple meals to feed the neighborhood, or what are your rules for being the teen hangout spot?
Yeah, we try to find lifestyle topics that really touch what our audience is already talking about. And we like this concept from a parent standpoint, because these are the same conversations people are having on a Friday night with a glass of wine, and parents are sitting around while the kids are maybe off at dance practice or something. It's the exact same conversation. And we also, again, I think coming out of COVID, a big believer in the whole community is here to help one another. So if you can kind of crowdsource some information, that goes a long way.
What I like about podcasts is you can just talk like you're just sitting there talking to friends, and then people can obtain whatever they want out of the podcast, and it's not cut, it's not predetermined. It's just you're sitting there talking.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really true sense of really what's going on, no matter what you want to talk about. I think that's why they're so popular, and that's why there's so many podcasts.
Yeah, it's more intimate.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a one-on-one conversation.
You
Well,
can
I
find
feel
out more
like-
about them.
I think that's what we've tried to capture with our show.
Yeah.
To make it more of a conversation between two people and two friends.
Yeah.
While there are some formulas to it, we know what we're talking about when. There's nothing scripted. We also have...
No, that's the number one question is like, so how much of that is you have it all
Right,
planned
yeah.
out? But we do a lot of planning, but not what we're saying.
And that kind of
in
goes
each
back to that
conversation.
performance thing we started with, right?
Yeah.
Having speech and drama, both taking improvisational acting classes. Just we believe in the power of yes, and whatever somebody throws out as an idea, you take it and you run with it, and that's where the best radio I think comes from.
Improv.
It's a big
In
part
Chicago,
of it.
I was that's a blast. By
It
the way.
is, yeah.
They throw out the wildest stuff. I'm standing there. How are you going to come up with that? And they do. It's kind of fun to see that.
It's
Make it
amazing.
work. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do make it work.
You just you trust, and no matter what, if
Trust
it's the
is
weirdest
key.
idea, the key is trust to there, and knowing that whatever each one of us threw out, the other person's going to take it and go somewhere with it, and that at least allows us to play with it.
So I'm amazed today on social media. There's social media, there's TV, there's streaming. So who listens to the radio anymore? And then what's your message and advertisement? Tell us more about demographics. Just talk to me about radio
Sure.
in general.
I think that we are still very much a part of your lifestyle. I mean, it's right there in your car. I think that's where we're meeting a lot of our people that we're talking to on the phone. It's like, I'm going here, I'm going there. So we're very much a part of that active lifestyle. I think we've seen maybe a shift in maybe a little bit of an older demographic than I think maybe what we had started out as.
I'd say so. I think and there's a lot of reasons I think for that. One is, as people are comfortable with what they grew up with. So I
Yes.
think the audience is following us. Two, I also think because the radio station just hit 25 years old a couple of years ago, we've had them since the beginning
Yes.
of Z102.9. So they've been very loyal to the radio station. I remember just as a programmer, I've always had to fight the next thing. So when I started programming, it was CDs in cars. And then it was going to be your MP3 player. And every one of those was going to be, the thing that was going to take down radio. And we're still here.
Yeah.
Podcast is now the next one. The key is, I think people keep forgetting, radio is flexible and we're adaptable and we're nimble. So we can do this too. If you can do a podcast, we can do a podcast. If you're doing, that's why we're going on different podcasts to build audience, not only for our radio product, which 6 to 10 Monday through Friday,
Right.
as you
can
listen
find
in
us
your
here, you
life.
can find us there.
Yeah.
We'll meet you where you're at.
But we're also recording our show too, so you can sample us and use us when you want to. You'll find us on social media. We have a YouTube channel, we have Facebook, and we use a lot of that for our storytelling, for our interactivity, to show people what we're doing. Instagram as well. So a lot of it has always been just to be kind of malleable with where the audience is going and never resist it. Always go along with it. We might be a little bit behind the trend, but I think for the most part, we're hand in hand with them. Our format is female focused. Ideally, probably a 25, 34-year-old. So somebody getting right out of college into their first job, or really kind of in those big life moments. First job, marriage, first kid, first house. That's who we know we're talking to on a daily basis.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So you're not just a radio station. You got everything else.
We
Social
have to.
media,
Yes.
You got it all.
Yep.
You can hit it all.
Yeah.
Do you still do like on the car lots and real estate? I mean, do you still promote through the radio, and you were out here this weekend, and
Yeah,
come and see us.
Yep, you can purchase us as a show, and we can come do our show at your location while we are live on the radio. You can have us come out
a targeted message just about your event or just about your product. We can do that.
Yeah. Most recently, in fact, one of the biggest social media posts we've had in the last couple months was a new international grocery store that opened up in Cedar Rapids. It's in the Mid Quarter. It's in kind of a grocery desert. Unfortunately, Hy-Vee closed off of First Avenue, so this is a new store. And just, I think its location, it was very novel at the time. The product offerings were unbelievable.
And we knew that it was coming, but suddenly it's here and it's ready and it's open.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, we're really the giving out the hot dogs and balloons and car dealerships. I think that's kind of how we cut our teeth in radio and live broadcasting. We were at a jewelry store just this past weekend in Cedar Rapids that was showcasing fancy cars and really nice Rolexes. We do a lot of stuff for the Iowa City Downtown District. We do a ton of stuff with Freedom Festival in Cedar Rapids. We did our entire show on a boat this year because we wanted to show that as long as we have an internet connection and power, we could do a show anywhere.
Because we are nimble and got to meet a brand new community that we weren't really familiar with. There's the Cedar Rapids houseboats right on the river, and I've never experienced it before. You'd never experienced it before. So it was really great to be embraced by that community too.
Are you amazed at going south of Cedar Rapids to Swisher? All the ground sold and all the new industry. Tell us a little bit about that or what you see there. What do you think?
I think where we really get a taste of that is we've been fortunate the last 4 years to host Good Morning Cedar Rapids, which is the big breakfast that the Chamber puts on.
Oh, that's
and it just opens your eyes, first of all, to the companies that have been like your heritage and legacy companies that I think towns take for granted.
Yeah, stuff that you like. I've seen that sign before on the interstate, but I don't know actually what they do. It's fascinating how much growth there has been and how much industry is here. Like maybe a national brand that you didn't know was right here in our backyard.
But you do have to put that it's always this kind of puzzle pieces of what's happening in our backyard.
Yeah.
Whether it's development, and that's both residential as well as commercial. I think I'm a little bit of not a unicorn, but I actually worked in economic development in Iowa City for a while with the Economic Development Group. So kind of understanding how economic engines work in a town, but that really gives us, I think, a good understanding. Also realizing and appreciating, though there are some different personalities once you kind of cross that Johnson-Lynn County line, we're still really one big region as well, and how we can all kind of play together and build this whole thing up.
With Google coming in with AI, I don't know if Microsoft's going to follow. But they just keep building on. I understand you can't get a motel room right now in CR. With all the workers coming in.
Between all of the work going on, I would say the convention and visitors business downtown has really, really taken off. Yeah. Now that the casino has a path forward, I bet we're going to see some more hotels popping up. I'm part of the Downtown Innovation Council, and that's the number one complaint is there's not enough hotel rooms.
Yeah.
We would have more conferences and more events just in Cedar Rapids with more hotel rooms.
Tell me how cool the Pickle Palace is.
Oh, my goodness.
I love it.
Beautiful, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So much fun.
We actually entered in a pickleball. We entered pickleball, played in one tournament, and retired.
And retired that day. It was incredible. I don't know. Did we score a point?
Yeah, we scored a point. It was a fundraiser for 4
Did we get a volley? Did we volley any?
I don't know. But yeah, we took lessons there.
Yeah.
No, it's that side of the river for some reason was just never embraced.
Right.
And it took the vision of and I forget the development group, but between Big Grove establishing, then you got Pickle Palace, you've got the yard in between them, which is going to be a great live venue. You've got I think an AC Marriott coming in there. You got the parking garage. It's
exciting.
Quite frankly, it's also walkable to the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
You would find that I think we, as a town, I've said this many times, Cedar Rapids, we need to look more to the river and embrace it, and then also understand we could be a little bit more pedestrian and be okay. We should embrace some Iowa City here.
There's a lot of fear, of driving. Oh, I'm going to have to drive and park again.
I got to find a place to park. Yeah.
And look at the music out of McGrath's Amphitheater.
Yeah.
I mean, some great bands come in there.
No, they've done a fantastic job of booking that. I think one of my favorite events they're doing now at McGrath is a holiday light show that goes up right after Thanksgiving, and we help sponsor that. and it's free, and it's great for people to take pictures.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I think one of the things, this is all very adaptable, as I'm kind of looking at your logo and thinking of Cedar Rapids Lights, it's all about self-promotion, right? Because there's so much fray and noise. You got to find different ways to kind of rise above that. And I think as communities and brands and organizations, I think that's kind of the game we're playing right now.
Well, Mays Island's got a new sign, Cedar Rapids sign.
Does, yeah.
It's all red. It looks cool.
It looks great.
Yeah.
That's actually, so we'll be live 4th of July just off the island for our show, which has become a tradition. And they're moving the concert down there too, which is going to be exciting. So, because I think the goal is to bring more activity back to Mays Island. Yeah.
So tell me how AI has affected you guys in the radio.
That's a great question.
Or how do you use AI?
Yeah.
Or what do you think AI and whatever else you want to talk about?
You bet. No.
There's excitement. I mean, there's a lot of possibility with it, but also like I don't want to lose our creativity because that's kind of what makes us unique and what makes us special.
Right.
So if we use it, I mean, it's like, how can we harness that power correctly? There's certain things that
not evil.
Yes. I don't want to become too dependent on it where you lose that part of your brain and you can't think of how to. I don't know how to write a script anymore. I don't know how to make a funny bit without telling it to write me something, you know?
I mean, that's one of the things that separates us as a product is creativity. And I actually remember having a meeting with some sales staff, and they were like, "Well, we have all of these promotional ideas." I said, "Where'd you get them?" "Well, we just typed it in AI." Like, then why? Then we're not relevant. And then, honestly, the radio station's not relevant because the client can do the exact same thing.
Right.
We're the ones who are on the ground, can come up with silly, goofy, fun ideas. We're going to do that. Those ideas are out there. Clearly, it's basically in a computer, curating that and putting it on a piece of paper. But
it's curating what it can find on the internet.
In that moment,
do what we can do of living it, experiencing it, knowing it. We are we're good at that.
We're great at that.
And we can't give that up to.
So we've a standing rule for our show is if AI writes anything, we will acknowledge that it is, and we'll usually. So if, for example, we are going to make up a silly song about Cedar Rapids, we might do our own version or we might do an AI version and just compare them.
Right.
So there's a way we could do that. But the technology is so advanced already, it can simulate voice. So we could have it say the same things our listeners tell us on a daily basis. That bugs me from a sincerity and genuine component.
Right.
So I'm pushing back on that a little bit.
It's a little creepy.
Yeah.
It gives me the oogs. Yeah.
Exactly. But to do a quick Google search, for example, we even talked about this morning. I have some sort of burrowing animal that has moved in under my shed.
But that's useful.
That's tell me that burrowing animals in Midwest
Iowa.
Backyards, Iowa. That's what I want AI for, so then I can figure out
Hole
what it is
the
and how I'm
size of
gonna
a
go
navel orange.
kill it.
You can get real specific.
Right. Yeah. It's a search function. I'm using it as a tool, but we just have to be careful we don't rely on it too much.
Right.
That's what scares us.
My son-in-law just got back from L.A., and he's riding around in a pod. I don't know. Have you heard of pods?
Well, I just saw
Driverless
a
car.
driverless. I think CBS Sunday Morning was talking with Uber. Yeah.
But you just hop in, it shuts the door. So there's like 4 people in it. And he was thinking it's going to go kind of slow, whatever. It's just weaving in and out. And it's like, took a little while to get comfortable. Then all of a sudden, by the end of the night, that's how they wanted to come home, and they loved it.
It's going to be normal, right?
It's just going to be a hop in a pod. It reminds me of George Jetson and his dog Elroy.
I just need Rosie to drive it and park it for you. I remember
Rosie.
when I was with the Economic Development Group here in Iowa City, autonomous driving was a whole product category we were going for. We were trying to get Johnson County to be a test market because we had the weather, we had the roads. We currently have the advanced driving simulator. I still sign up for those trials when I can, and that's where a lot of the technology that they're testing right now is because that's not going anywhere.
Right.
That's certainly the wave of the future.
I saw I was at a meeting in Hawaii over the last winter, and one of the physicians was retired, but he works for Microsoft. And he counsels with presidents and Congress and whatever about AI in medicine. And he was showing some things that AI can do in medicine. And it's just mind-boggling what it does for medicine. And for you personally, if you have a question, it can really spit out the answer and really help people with patient care and what they expect and what type of surgery. It's amazing. But make a long story short, he was typing in a deal, and it showed it on the screen that he was talking to a lady. It was after she had a baby, and she had some issues. And while they were talking to her, she didn't really know how to use her phone. It's kind of a long story, but when she was talking to him, she said, "I'm really tired. I can't keep this up right now." And AI said, "We'll call you in the morning when you're feeling better."
Wow.
In other words, the AI was starting to get
There's
emotional,
a little bit of empathy,
or
right?
a little empathy.
Right?
Empathy, yeah.
And I'm sitting there and going, "Oh no!" But had empathy for this lady. Said, "Why don't you, lay down, relax, whatever it said, and I'll call you in the morning." I'm like, we're all going, whoa.
Yeah, I will tell you an area that worries me a little bit. First of all, in radio, as we've talked about corporate ownership, you can now get the same DJ on 5 different radio stations in 5 different towns because it's kind of a plug and play.
Right.
Now, what I don't like about that is you lose the locality of it, right? You lose the localness of it.
And we are so into
Yes,
that.
That's our torch. But we are aware of, and I believe we've heard some samples of AI shows, and it's a little creepy. How real it sounds, how they understand banter and clearing their throat and taking pauses.
Make it sound human.
And yes, yeah. So that's an area where we're at least kind of keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, and then there's robots coming out, which I don't even want to know.
Right.
I saw some things on that, and I won't even talk about that today. What they can do.
Yeah.
So,
but we are so reliant on technology. If we go back to those, that the KRNA story we had to start with, everything in the studio at the time, you had to physically touch. I had to put this in that machine. I had to put a record here and cue it up. Now I have 5 screens in front of me.
All automated.
It's all automated. I mean, it's still human. I get to pick and choose some things, and I get to move stuff around. And we can kind of curate what we want where. But answer the phone by an internet phone system, and then I have to log in to get my email and go online and post on Facebook before the show starts. And then every library of every song we have is across 2 screens and the one program that runs the radio station, and then what we record on.
It's to make it so much easier, and you have the ability to do so much more while you're doing the show. But then there's other things that get added, like and you also have to keep up with your social media and make sure your podcast is sharp. And there's all these things that get added to your plate.
Also, we're getting dings on this, and we're getting dings on this from our friends and family while we're talking on the radio. So there's a lot going on.
Since you mentioned that.
I just remembered that DJ at KRNA.
Okay.
No.
The best radio voice I've ever heard. You ready?
Was it? Yeah.
Drum roll. Dave Kelch.
Oh, I know Dave Kelch. Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Dave became an arborist. He was our sales manager when I started there part-time.
Dave Kelch.
Dave
So
was
I'm
great.
going way back here. KRNA, I just got all these. I just thought of Dave.
It's
Tell us a little bit about your families, your married kids, just if you want to, just a little bit about yourselves personally.
Yours bigger than mine. Go for it.
I got two daughters, 13, and 9, and my husband and I, we been in Cedar Rapids since we went to college. We met in college at Mount Mercy, and just
I heard they
stayed
just
there.
merged, right?
Yes,
With St. Ambrose.
Yes.
How about that?
Which is fascinating. Tell me more. How's that going to work? What do we say? How do we say it? I don't know yet, but it'll be exciting to see what happens. So we met there, and we've stayed in town. He's from Cedar Rapids, and we put down roots, and this is where we'll be.
Great. How's your teenager? How's that going for you?
Pretty good, honestly. It's 9. It's more.
You're not
See what happens here?
13's not so bad. It was like 9, 10. Those years, those preteen years are real dicey so far. I mean, I shouldn't say anything. We'll see what happens.
Wait,
Hope you didn't jinx
she's
it.
not driving yet, right? I get a couple more years.
No, but we are more excited now to drive than we ever have been. So that's
Good.
I'm extremely nervous. We'll see.
That's
Maybe
another
hopefully
one of
Dad
those
can-
topics that we did just a couple weeks ago. Because there's so many parents now who have 16, 17-year-olds who don't want to drive. It just boggles
more
our
and
mind.
more of a thing.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't wait to have that independence to get away and get behind a wheel by myself, like away from my parents. And there's a bunch of kids that just drive
Don't
me.
get there. Yeah. I grew up in Washington, was actually born in the Washington County Hospital. I feel like that's a badge of honor.
So you're a demon, right?
I am a demon. That's right. I was listening to one of your podcasts earlier, and you're an Oskaloosa Indian.
Yeah.
And I believe that was in the Southeast 7 conference
Yes,
back when
way
I was
back.
in high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad owned a construction concrete bridge and culvert company out of Washington. I'm got 2 younger brothers. None of us went into the business, by the way. None of us had the taste for concrete or building bridges.
Is that still there? Bridge
It
and
is
Culver?
now under Iowa. Yeah, it's Iowa Bridge and Culver. Yep, we've got the office still in Washington, and then we've got a office in Texas. So most of my cousins now own it.
Because I know at Bridgework, that's the company everybody
That's
goes
it.
to.
Yeah. I can drive you around Iowa City, Coralville, and go that one,
Yeah.
that one, that one. Then went to the University of Iowa. Kind of by accident, I really wanted to go to Northwestern and had applied and got waitlisted. And I give my parents a lot of credit. They tried to get me in there. They were going to make donations to a school they had no affiliation to just to see if it would work. But luckily, I got to Iowa. I thought I was going to be an education major. Tried that for a couple of years. Was not my taste.
Same.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's so weird.
Met my wife in the Hawkeye marching band. Yeah, I played saxophone and keyboard in the pep band, and she played clarinet. So we met my freshman year. We started dating my sophomore year. We were married she's a couple years older, so I graduated. We got married the next summer. No kids, 2 dogs, and it's just been radio for me. Minus a few jobs here and there when I wasn't on air, but yeah.
Great, that sounds like fun. The marching band, I wasn't into band. Oh, I played a little bit in high school, but they seem to have so much fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You just have so much fun.
It's the camaraderie is there. Everybody's looking out for each other. There's still a dedication to show. I really, really appreciate that. Taking, you start on a Monday, you get your music, you get your chart, and by Saturday you're ready to go, and then you flush it and you do it again. Yeah. I will say I am vying for the announcer job for the Hawkeye Marching Band.
Oh, really?
So
Fingers
I've
crossed.
submitted my application. We'll see where that goes.
Well, that'll be cool.
But Lou Chris retired after 46 years or something, 43 years. So we'll see
full
if that
circle.
could go full circle. That's right.
So do you have, do you talk Hawkeye sports, Caitlin Clark?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We talked WNBA this morning, the big record of her getting all those votes. Yeah, we're not heavily news concentrated, but
Or entertainment.
It's entertainment, but
when it's what everybody's talking about,
if there's a buzz, we'll talk about
Hawkeye football game that weekend.
In fact, this
we're there.
morning we talked about that. We talked about the merger between, or I guess partnership or whatever it's being called, with St. Ambrose and Mount Mercy. It just we tried. The airport's having a heck of a year. We talked about that. So,
And by the way, isn't the airport fantastic?
Beautiful.
I mean, it is unbelievable what they've done up
is
there.
that? Yeah, they're not quite done with that.
No,
last
there's
leg.
a hallway or something,
Right.
just a connecting.
My
joint.
favorite analogy is now they've got that new wing. It's like you're in black and white at the beginning of the Wizard of Oz, and then you go into the new area. You're like, oh my god, color! Yeah, it's fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fantastic. The colors and however they decorate.
Yeah.
It's pleasant.
Right.
Airports are a little stressful, but I'd much rather go to CR than O'Hare.
Oh, I know.
gosh, yeah.
Any day.
Yeah, no, it's the right size for our community. We talk so much, there's so much of an economic engine in and out of that, whether it's bringing people to town who are doing business with us. You needed to have that airport to get a Google to build a data center in Cedar Rapids, right?
Right.
So those are all great stories, and they own all that land, right? So it's a bit of a business park out there too. So
Yeah, part of the Google thing and Microsoft is the amount of power it takes to go into these AI centers or whatever, AI centers. And it's like, that's why they're going into nukes or buying nuclear plants or Lion Energy's back into Google. I mean, they got to have a ton of power. They can't
I've
bring
been
them in. It's
following
amazing.
a lot of those stories that a lot of that investment in nuclear and other energies, because we need to run all that data. Yeah.
And apparently they made nuclear, I don't know if I call it easier, but it's more safe. It's a lot
for
safer
sure. Well,
than
with
50 years ago.
Halo and Dwayne Arnold thinking about coming back on.
Coming back and turning it on. Yeah.
I figured it must be then if they're gonna
Right.
bring it back.
If they walked away from it, there's got to be a better reason to walk back to it. So
Tell us about leadership and management, or do you get into that at all, or do you have any type of leadership seminars, or do you talk with leadership inside your groups, or you get involved in people calling in, or how do you see leadership in the radio station?
I mean, we
or
try
with
to
yourselves.
within our group. We try to be within our station. We're kind of like leading off the day for everybody. So kind of set the tone, set the pace. But then behind the scenes, you just try to help bring in new people and make sure that that's an approachable and welcoming atmosphere.
yeah, there's a bit of hierarchy, which I think has always been there. The way radio stations are typically structured, you've got a general manager and a sales manager, and Julie Hine operates both of those positions. So she oversees the company as a whole, and then primarily her job is on the sales side. The building's very much just kind of split down the middle. So you have a sales team, advertising team, and then you have your on-air team. That's operated by either an operations manager or program director. What I really love, and we're with our new program director probably going on 4 months.
Yeah.
He
early.
seems one of the most collaborative that I've worked with in a long time. Very genuine in his approach. A big believer. In fact, I was listening to one of your podcasts about coaching, and just I think does a great job finding talent, building it up. We've had some part-timers who have not been led on the air before by other bosses. And he's like, just give them a shot.
Right.
And then it's amazing. If they've got the determination and the will to do it, I can teach them how to do the time and temperature, right? That skill is easy to teach.
Yeah, it's all teachable.
It's all making sure they have the willingness and the want to do that.
Yeah.
We carry that around a lot. We do quarterly lunch and learns in the building. Kenyon Murray was just in. We talked a lot about group dynamics, leadership, trying to break down silos.
Right, and mental health too.
Yeah.
Just kind of making sure that you are good for yourself to be good to other people.
He's a life coach, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's
At
great.
the
by the
Covenant,
way.
I believe. I think for us too, this seemed to come about 3 years ago. We realized that it's kind of that good to great moment, and what we're loving what we do, and we really look forward to because we're in that building before 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, before 5, not 4. In the 4 o'clock hour before 5. Planning for an hour, heads down, working. You get to be fun and silly, and then like we're very dedicated to the craft.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get a little too into it. And we were trying like, are we hard to work with? You don't kind of look at a mirror sometimes.
Yeah.
So we've been working with life coaches and business coaches too, just to kind of really make sure that we understand what we're like to work with other people, how to work with other people. And I think that's helped our show grow immensely.
Because we're very quick with each other, and since we work so closely together, we're a team. We're a show. We kind of play off of each other all the time, so we kind of understand that like that can be a little intimidating too. When it's a 2-on-1 situation, it's a little.
Well, and morning shows are designed to be the dominant show of the day. So that's kind of the mentality we kind of carry around too. So I think realizing when you walk into a room, you kind of take the air out. So being able to listen to ideas and build off of those ideas. So, I mean, we preach that to each other, but I think sometimes we have to pause and remember to kind of work that into the building too.
Yeah.
Well, I think people, if they listen to you 6 to 10, they got to understand there's way more work than 6 to 10.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, they just hear it on the radio in the morning. Well, you're up early. You're out there at 5. You're probably looking for material. You're thinking about what you want to say. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. You want to tell us more about that or what you're thinking and how you get your material? And like when they hired Ben McCollum, I bet he had some talk about that.
No, we were ready to go. I mean, I'll start by
Drake.
saying it helps to have a sports station in our
Yes.
building. So ESPN, which was owned by Channel 9 forever, KCRG Radio, was purchased by Elliot and Rob and became KGYM. So we
But
kind of
whenever you have a question, you could just go down the hallway and
we have an
ask
ace in the
somebody
hole
who
there.
knows.
Todd Brommelkamp
Yeah.
is plugged into the university, which is fantastic. So that's good to know. Also, just watching social media is also a key we've noticed both on the pop culture side, which is kind of where Claire works, and then I'm more on the news sports. I'm actually the farm director, believe it or not. So we try to follow where those trends go. But yeah, once those conversations were happening, to know that was happening. And I think one of the things, the casino story just popped in my head. That was so important to our entire audience because we know we have audience down in Washington. We know we have audience up to Waterloo. How am I going to take a very complicated issue and talk about it on the radio? So we just turned it into a soap opera. And it just worked out that we had heroes and villains and dramatic organ music.
Break it down and help people understand exactly what's going on, and it's a little bit more of an approachable way to do it.
But that's part of the
building the two.
planning of how the show is put together. Every morning we go in with a pretty good framework of what the 4 hours are going to provide. But then we each take an hour and kind of work in our own areas, whether it's news or pop culture, know where we're going to flow that through. And then you just kind of let the day take you where the day wants to take you.
Yeah, I mean those 4 hours when we are doing the show, we're plugged in doing that. But then afterwards, like you said, it's all catching up what happened on that show and making sure like we get our podcast together and we're posting about highlights and things like that. And then before you can even get ready for the next day, you're kind of covering what happened there.
But we're planning 2 months out too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're already talking with our sales team about what does back to school look like. We do a feature with an alumni marching band every Friday before home and away Iowa games. Is that sponsorable this year? We have some ideas for some local convenience stores we could work on. All of a sudden, the holidays are going to be here.
Yeah.
So,
And then there's like our show, and then there's outside of our show. Like this weekend, we're gonna try to go for a world record, trying to get most people together wearing party hats in honor of Mr. Shucks' birthday with the Cedar Rapids Colonels. So we're trying to make all of these things happen. Do we have enough mascots for Saturday? And we ordered the hats, right? We got the hats. So all those things behind the scenes too that we're working on.
yeah, it's the most intimate detail up to the broadest concept.
Yeah.
And they are always in a different state of development.
And where are we on that? Did you email him about that?
Yeah.
Am I on that? Like,
So communication is
we
key.
sit right across from each other.
Yes.
We're always talking.
I'm a big believer in seeking information. So I will, if you explain something to me, I'll explain it back to you. Just make sure I don't miss anything. I think we need to do a better job of that overall, just from a communication standpoint. And then, yeah, we just take it and let it run. And I think we also kind of check pride and ego at the door when we are working together.
Yes.
Just to make sure that we're a cohesive unit.
Yeah, because we are such different personalities too. Eric's much more. You're more aggressive. I'm more passive.
Yeah.
I don't like confrontation. I don't want to get in a fight with anybody. But I guess we've worked together long enough that I feel comfortable telling you like, oh, this isn't going to happen. This is not how we're going to do it. So I mean, we've progressed in that at least.
Do you read newspapers? Do you listen to competitors? How do you
Yes.
compare
Yeah,
yourselves?
all of the above.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Because here's how we know if we're doing well or not doing well. There is the same people that do TV ratings, which is Nielsen, bought the company Arbitron however many years ago. So for our particular radio area, which would be Johnson County, Lynn County, diaries are sent out twice a year, paper diaries, 3 months at a time, and people notate what they listen to. Gets sent back into DC. Somebody tabulates all that information. Then they turn around and they sell that to us. And those are our ratings. So we know how are we ranking compared to other radio stations that are like us, that are not like us. What's our share of audience? How long are they at the store? Are they popping in, popping out for how long?
And how do we compare
Yes.
against everybody in our area?
What's our average age audience, male or female? How long they're spending with the show? And all of that goes into then how we kind of project what we're going to do the next 6, 9, 12 months down the road. And then the sales staff takes that data and could go to you guys, could go to a car dealership and say, if you want this age group at this time frame, we're the best idea for you. And this is a schedule that we get your message out. So yeah, we're constantly getting that data. We monitor other radio stations as often as we can. We'll monitor newspaper and, the CBJ and the Gazette are also both great news partners. So it's helpful to kind of see what they're looking at because that kind of gives me an idea what our community and our region's looking at too.
So you look at Cedar Rapids and Iowa City, and they're always talking about growing together. It's a corridor. It's all one. Tell us what you think the strengths and weaknesses are both. As one.
Of the area.
Of Iowa City, Cedar Rapids. Because they play off each other.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on that? How it grows as a corridor?
I think we try to work together as much as possible. I don't know. Strengths of Cedar Rapids versus Iowa City.
This is the endless Cedar Rapids Iowa City debate.
I think Iowa City is probably a little bit more laid back and willing to allow for change. I think sometimes there's a little bit of hesitancy in Cedar Rapids where it's like, whoa, that's a really weird idea. I don't think it's gonna fly.
Slow down, Iowa City.
Take it through all of these levels of, filter it through. So I think there's a little bit more embracing of change.
I mean, we certainly can say geographically the growth has happened, right?
Yeah.
At one point, we're eventually going to get to a point where you will leave the airport and you will get to Tiffin and you won't see any farm. I have a feeling we're eventually going to get
Tiffin,
there.
yeah.
I mean, Tiffin's blowing up,
It's
right?
unbelievable.
Golf courses everywhere.
Yeah, North Liberty, and it's all becoming one.
What we need to do a better job at is we need to embrace our differences because they are both strengths. You've got a Big Ten research university. You've got just a unique gem of a college town in Iowa City. You've got an economic engine that is Cedar Rapids. Unfortunately, I think it's a town that is like, come on, Des Moines, give us our due. We're the second largest town in the state. I think it's constantly playing.
Please.
We're better than you give us credit for. So I think Cedar Rapids maybe might get in its way every once in a while. I think Tiffany is great from a leadership standpoint. The downtown development is fantastic. The casino is going to do great for the area. I think that's good. We just need, if you've lived in any larger community, even Des Moines, a 20-minute to go from here to here is nothing. But for some reason in our area, there's this, I don't know, that's Iowa City.
It's all the way down there, or it's all the way up
Yeah.
there. I can't
Somehow
do
we
that.
need to flush that, and I have yet to come up with that creative way to
I
do
thought
that.
there was going to be some sort of train or some sort of transportation
would
that was
help,
going
I
to
think,
connect us, but
It's going to help to have 3 lanes on 380.
That's true. Yeah,
That's
yes,
really
it's
going to
help
help.
the flow.
Boy, we need it.
yeah, yeah.
But I love that our communities celebrate personalities and the ownership of like, I'm a proud Cedar Rapidian, or I'm a proud Iowa Cityan, or Coralvillian. But we all need to be Corridorians.
Yes.
Because and this is probably the old economic development in me speaking. We have to be looked at as a one large regional area, because that's what's going to continue to bring in the Googles and other large employers, and then that's where the money comes from.
Another thing that people hardly ever talk about, but it's the work ethic of Iowans.
Yeah.
Because I've been a native Iowan, I've been here, I love Iowans. There's just something about the nature of people, hard work, ethic, just the way people act.
Absolutely.
And, it's hard to, people say, well, I'm coming to Iowa. What are you going to do in Iowa? Well, when they get here, they love it. The schools, the kids, the families, this way people act.
Those are probably some of my favorite listeners we run into, or we'll get messages from that. Either those who've left and come back thinking there were greener pastures, like, nope, we were way wrong, or people who have taken jobs here. And the CEO of the orchestra is a great example.
Yeah, I'm not from here, but oh my gosh, how I've been embraced. Oh my gosh, how this area is so hardworking and has embraced me as a person. So
low unemployment. It's just got a lot of neat things.
It does, yeah.
You have to come and experience it. Because when you say Iowa, when you're traveling, you go, where's that?
Oh, it's an ongoing
you hear Idaho,
lesson.
potatoes. You hear Hawaii,
all
Ohio.
the time, Idaho.
Yeah, Ohio. No. Well, no, we don't have potatoes. We do have potatoes, maybe in a garden, but but it's kind of fun. So, well, to finish up, what else would you like to talk about? I'm getting excited. I'm going to start listening to Z102.9.
Well, good. I told you it was 48 minutes.
I'm going to
I'll convert you over for sure.
You got me, I think. I'm in.
Good.
Tomorrow morning, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. No, I mean, that's what it's about is telling stories, sharing a little bit about ourselves and what it's like to be an Iowan, a Corridorian, to be here. What is life like as we're all living it, as we're all experiencing it. We try to kind of touch on that every morning.
Yeah, if your commute is 2 minutes or an hour, we are going to give you something different within that time frame. We're going to keep you laughing and coming back. We're going to try to entice you to maybe find out something that I like the idea of, boy, they just did that. I can't wait to see what they want to do next. That seems to drive our show. And at the end of the day, you're just listening just like this. It's 2-3 people having a conversation. Try to put a smile on everybody's face. We're doing the daily grind just like you. Ours is just a little bit different because we get to talk behind this thing.
Right.
But we're all going through the same stuff, and we're just trying to bring that to the airwaves 6 to 10 Monday through Friday. And then we do a recap on a Saturday. There's a podcast version. And you can plug into us however you want through any of the Z102.9 social media channels.
Hopefully bump into you at a farmer's market or whatever that community event is.
Well, Claire, Eric, this has been fantastic. It's been fun. You made a believer out of me.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be listening in the morning.
We are so close. One more.
Thanks a lot for coming out. This has been a blast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.